10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
G'day and welcome to Dax Chats. Yet again, this is episode 12, and today I have somebody very, very special. She's an independent country artist from Australia who's basically just jumped into the market from out of nowhere. She came out with a debut song called Shots, and that was absolutely brilliant. And now she's just brought out a new song, and it's equally as brilliant. I'm talking today to Cass Hopetoun, and here she is right now. Hi, Cass.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, that's good. Wow. Now, this has been a bit of a whirlwind for you, hasn't it? Because we were just speaking off screen, and you said, you know, you're very new to this, and you didn't expect to receive what what you've got so far. You didn't.
Yeah, no. Because I kind of thought when you bring out a song where you've never done this before, you're like, well, I'm proud of what I've created, but will anyone really like the song or me? And it definitely, like when I brought out my first song, it was like, it's like, oh, this is cool. Like it, definitely exceeded expectations.
It blew up. Absolutely blew up. I mean, like, I have really never seen anybody come out with such a successful debut song, and it was called Shots, and you came out with a video clip for it and everything. You had everything prepared, ready to go, and you really came out strong. Like, you're here to stay. You're here for the long haul, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. It was definitely, I wanted to kind of just go with a bang or not at all. It was like, I got to make sure I did the video way I want, things like that. Otherwise, I'm just going to wait.
So tell us about Shots. Obviously, we'll talk about the new one shortly, but tell us about Shots, because that blew you into this world that you're now in.
It's so Shots was my debut single. It came out about just over a month, not a month ago, 4 months ago. It's been a while. I got an ISO brain. It was a song that it's the whole chorus is about nobody wants to do shots anymore, but it's really about how there's a point in everyone's life where a lot of my friends are at, they're like, we're adults now, we no longer do shots, we're sensible and all that sort of thing. And it's just a song that's celebrating, like, you don't have to grow up so fast, you can still have fun. So that's the song. It's just a catchy country pop song, which I really love.
Now, before the new one came out, you did something that not many Australians have been able to do. You were supporting Casey Donovan on the first ever drive-in concert. Can you tell me what that experience was like?
Yeah, I'm telling people it's like a mixture of unique and very fun. So it never happened here before, and you're on a big stage like you were at a festival, but then you were performing to a bunch of cars. So you can't see people. So it's really weird when you first get there and you're like, oh, will people like clap and things like that? But the people were like honking like crazy, and they were really, honking instead of clapping.
Honking horns and flashing headlights.
Yeah. So be like, we like you. Like, it'd be really awkward if like no one made any sound, because you wouldn't know what they're thinking. It was really cool.
Yeah. Do you think that this is something that we could embrace longer term? I mean, obviously we all want to get back to having an audience in front of us, but do you think that this is another avenue that we can embrace longer term?
I think so. I thought that it would be really good for country music, especially. It just kind of fits that vibe, like being in your utes and your trucks and things. And I think it's a really cool way to do a festival in a different twist. And I hope it sticks around because it's very fun, and it's just something a little bit different, I think.
I agree with you because this is now just last week or early this week, the Denny Ute Master got cancelled, and I was like, well, why did you cancel it? Why didn't you just make it a drive-in? You know, put all the Utes in spots and let's go. You know, like
I don't see.
Yeah, they've already got those Utes out there. You know,
yeah.
So it was a bit strange. Now, obviously, you've released pretty much everything that you've done. Shots came out just before the pandemic hit, and now you have to release a new one during the pandemic. How's the pandemic affected your rise to fame, should I say?
Optimistic. I think it's weird because I can't compare it with anything. So for me, like, it's been obviously weirder than I expected because I think COVID hit 2 weeks after I released Shots. So I had all these plans and goals for the year, and then it was like, oh, I guess we have no idea what's going on. So I think it would have, like, I'd say it probably would have gone better and things like that if I could actually perform my music live. But it's still been great that we have the internet. We can release things digitally these days. So I think that's still going well. But yeah, I would have rather if we didn't have a pandemic, but, you know, can't pick it.
So, I mean, I'm sure you'd like to be doing full, you know, live shows with a whole band and stuff like that, because that's obviously where it's passionate. But you know, what I've seen is you and Blake in your lounge room doing, you know, live sessions, you know, with him on the acoustic guitar, and when he's doing shots, you hear him loud as oil. Yeah.
It's the most famous part of the song.
It's the most famous part of the song, but in the actual recording, it sits back in the song. So when you're doing it live, it actually comes out a lot louder.
Yeah. We were really sad when we realized it wasn't as loud, because when we perform it, it's like, but hopefully people can just sing along with it and make it louder.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that it's become an iconic part of the song, and I guess when I heard the song the first time as a recording, I didn't really get that part of it because it wasn't, as you say, it wasn't so prevalent. But when I've seen you do the live streams, because I do watch.
Yeah, they're always there.
I like to watch. It sounds a bit weird, but it's okay. When Blake's doing the whole bit, it sounds, well, that should have been in the song. And it is in the song, but you just couldn't hear it as much. So, now, your new single, now this one, I love this song. Now, this is not something that I should really love because it's not about something that bothers me so much. But apparently you wrote this after having a conversation with your own mother about your own wedding plans, and you didn't want to go into that same mold that has been going on for generations. All right, so the song's called Typical Bride. Talk us through it.
Sure. So to start off, when the whole wedding plan started, I did the proposing to Blake. So that was already very confusing for my parents and everyone around me. They're like, what? The girl proposing? And it started a whole thing. And then, I wrote the first draft just after having a conversation with them. And there was talk of churches and white dresses. And I was like, that's not what I want. And then I kind of had a little bit of a rant about it in song form. And from there, I took it to Blake and we rewrote it and it kind of like transformed and kept getting better and better and better. We brought it to Matt Fell and got it produced there, and then he just transformed it again. And it just went stepping stones to like how awesome it is now. But it's kind of a defiant song for everyone out there that doesn't want to be in that typical bride mold. And I'm hoping that a lot of girls are like, yeah, I get that. I feel that way.
And it's true to form. Like, you know, we're not living in the 1920s. We're not living in the, well, you mentioned the 1920s in the song, but we're not living in the 50s. We're not living in the 60s. We've certainly grown from that. And as you say, you proposed, Blake didn't. You know, equality is part of life these days. So we can do what we want. And if you want a garden wedding, that's your thing. You know, if you don't want to have flowers at a wedding, that's your thing. If you don't, you know, but it's not up to your parents, grandparents to say this is what you should do. This is your day. This is your day, right?
Yeah. Well, that's what it's about. It's like you're getting married, not anyone else. Yeah, it's like
that's
what
right.
do you want to do? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and so the premise is brilliant. I love the song, and I was just actually reading your Facebook page before you came on, and I was like, I really felt this Dusty Springfield vibe in the song. And then I was reading your Facebook page, and there's this typical Bride influences. I was like, there it is. I was right. I mean, it's got the whole vibe, and Matt Fell's done it. Obviously, he's a brilliant producer. He can find magic in anything, I think.
Yeah.
So he's done a wonderful job at bringing out that those influences that you did mention on your Facebook page, and they do shine through. Like Dusty Springfield certainly shines through. Now, tell us about the video clips. Both video clips. Let's do shots first. The video clip for shots. How did that story come about in the video clip?
So with Shots, it was my first ever clip. And when I brought it to Bruce Dawson, directed it, who's with Tribal Apes, and I just said, I want to do something that's kind of out there. Like I want to go a little bit wacky. I don't want to just stand there and sing. And he knew that I had a bit of a theatre background. So he's like, all right, let's get some acting happening. So we set it right back in the 70s. Like when we went to Sydney Prop Studios, where they have little like rooms set up, which are just little sets of the 70s, so a lounge room, kitchen and things. And it's based around me as a housewife that just, you know, kind of breaks out of her mold as well. And there's like, no, let's get this raging. You know, this is it's at a dinner party, and it gets a little bit more raging as we go on. So I'm just the disruptive character in that one, pretty much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, with so you just mentioned the 70s theme. That was one of the first things that I noticed. The artwork, the Art Deco. You know, like it was full on a 70s vibe. So I was wondering if that's the type of vibe you like in normal life, or is that just what you went for the video?
Yeah, I'd say like my clothing sense, fashion sense at the moment is very like 70s inspired. I don't have that wallpaper at home, unfortunately, but I would love that wallpaper. But I think let's do it. But I think it's got something really cool and quirky about that era. I just think like now, like I love the period that we live in now, but I think there's just something a little extra fun back in the 70s and the 60s.
For sure, absolutely. And talk us through the new clip, Typical Bride.
Yeah, so Typical Bride, I had in my head this idea of a whole wedding taking place, but obviously COVID hit, and it was like, oh, it'll just be me now. So the main thing, I worked with Bruce Dawson again, and we really wanted to show that kind of journey from the classic bride, kind of breaking free of some sort of trance, and then ending up in the different versions of me, pretty much. So I think there's like 6 costume changes. So I changed my outfit a bit. And it starts with me in a traditional wedding dress in a white cyclorama, and then I'm at a wedding, and then I kind of like, oh, I don't want this. And I just kind of break free into different characters. So it's just, it's a lot of fun, and a lot of people are saying like, it's just so sassy. It's like, yes, that's all I wanted.
It is absolutely. I agree. And you've just announced recently that it has been played on CMT, the new Australian CMT. Yeah. So fantastic job to that. Yeah. I guess I need to ask what's next for Cass Hopetoun? I mean, how far can you go under the situation that we're currently in what are your plans moving forward now?
So the plan is to still release music throughout this year, so bring out another song or two, and then hopefully bring out something larger next year. But it kind of does rely on, money and things, that old thing with COVID. But I'm hoping that from next year you'll be able to see me on a stage somewhere. So I really just want to perform this music live because I love performing, and that's where I started. I didn't start as a songwriter. So for me, it's like I just want to use a microphone and get back on stage. So
For sure.
yeah,
for sure. Well, look, I hope that it all happens. I mean, no one knows what the go is with this COVID thing, and there's so many different things out there right now that are making it very hard to understand what's actually happening.
Yeah, there's a lot making you like freak out, and then there's ones you read, you're like, oh, we'll be fine, and then you're like, no, we're freaking out again. And
exactly, and that's on a daily basis. It's like it changes every day. Mass media is causing fear amongst people, and then some medical professional says, hey, we can get rid of it just using this. we don't have to worry about it. I mean, I just posted that this morning. There's a doctor in Texas going, hey, you only need asthma medication to get past it. You don't need a vaccine. You don't need this. What's going on? What are these governments doing?
Where's this news?
It's 2020 has been a very difficult year for people. I mean, basically, the Country Thunder Network came out of the pandemic. All right, I left my radio station when I moved back to China to be with my family here, and I closed down my previous radio station. And when the pandemic hit, I was 2 weeks in. And it started on the 23rd of January here. I was 2 weeks in, and I was going stir crazy, and I said, that's it, I'm starting a new radio station. Bang. So we've been running for about 5 months, and I can't believe how successful it became just based out of the pandemic. I still don't make money. I just need to make money now. That's it. We've got to get advertising.
Yeah.
But then no business has got advertising money. So, it's like you can't push out these advertising things, to say, we want to have advertisers on the station, because, we get to 50, 60 countries a day, but, we can't sort of say, hey, we want your advertising money, because they're going to say, well, we don't have it.
Yeah, it's that tricky thing at the moment. Like, everyone's like, I can't give you my money because I need that money, but then I need to pay money to make. It's a big thing.
and that's huge. Like, so many artists. I had a few artists saying, have you got any promotion specials that for your radio station? And I've got plans for them, but I don't want to sort of turn around to artists and go, hey, if you want to premiere it on this, or you want to have it on high rotation for a week, or play of the day or whatever. I said, I can't do it. I just can't do it to the artists.
Yeah. Nothing.
So I'm still here doing what I'm doing without making money. You're doing what you're doing without making money. It's a very hard situation for everybody to be in.
Yeah, it definitely like shows you if you are where you want to be. It's like, am I happy to do this and not make money? And like, I totally am. There is a point where you're like, oh, it would be good though to stay alive. But
for sure.
I think it's been a lot of discovering for people. Like, am I happy with my balance, my work-life balance? Am I in the career that I love? Because you've got time to think about it at the moment. So it's
So are you in a career outside of music?
My other, my day job is a wedding musician. So God as well.
So you're just a musician. That's it. You're just
you're
a wedding singer.
Yeah. It's funny because people are like, oh, surely you got your day job. It's like, no, I'm just pretty much having a holiday right now. Just treating it like a really long one.
I mean, weddings were basically cancelled through the whole thing,
Yeah.
Did you have a date set for yours before the pandemic hit?
No, so we're just thinking about what we wanted, and obviously we're just taking this as an excuse to kind of push it back and think about what we actually want to do. You don't get people asking at the moment like, oh, what are you going to do? Where are you getting married? Like, that's not happening at the moment.
Oh,
Which is good.
Because I know Christy Lamb also had her wedding postponed because of the pandemic, because she couldn't get people from London and stuff to come because nobody can travel right now, and so the whole thing's up in the air. Everything in the world is up in the air, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, and it's funny, like you find yourself always coming back to talk about it because it's just so like it's just such a big thing at the moment, and it's weird.
Exactly. I mean, like, we've done, this is, as I said at the beginning, this is the 12th episode. This is the 12th interview that we've done since we started them this month. We only started them this month. And I was like, every one that I've done, that's been the main focus. Yes, we have, you've done the new single, you've done this, you've done that, you've done this, but the main focus is COVID, because that's where everybody's at right now. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely like influencing what you're writing about, what you're doing. Like, there's no gigs to promote at the moment, so it's it's a big topic. But it's funny. I'm imagining in a few years we'll be like, oh yeah, that thing that happened. Like, it'll kind of.
If the governments actually start doing the right thing and going, okay, well, here's proven track records that this stuff actually works to get rid of it. Let's just do that. There's other conspiracy theories that I can talk about, which I won't. This is not about those. But yeah, look, you've done a wonderful job. Obviously, you're not this week. Last week, you were the Typical Bride was the DJ Dax hit pick yet again. So yeah, so you've had two songs that have been the DJ Dax hit pick and have had high rotation for that week, and that's all based off what I like, you know. So you know you've got a fan here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's been great talking to you. I wish you every success with, obviously, with Typical Bride, which we know what you're already getting, and any future releases. And I hope to see you performing one day very soon.
Hopefully. Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
No problem. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye. All right, that was Cass Hopetoun. Her new song is called Typical Bride. You can listen to it on the Country Thunder Network. You can also vote for it for the Country Thunder 20, or you can stream and download it on the usual places. Until next time, this is DJ Dax signing out for Dax Chats. See ya.